on to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Owen Hayes. You're watching Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented to you by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor, and you had better head over there. It makes no difference if you're getting ready for fishing for fall Chinook or if you're getting ready for our upcoming hunting season. Fisherman's has got everything that you need. Head over and take advantage of some of the sales that are going on right now, and in the near future, you're going to be in the woods hunting. Just make sure you've got everything it is that you need. It's just like fishing gear. It disappears when you're in the midst of the season, so make sure you get it ahead of time. Today, though, we've got another live report. Of course, it's that time of year from the Bowie 10 area. We're going to check in with our good friend, Ted Liu. He's the fishing attorney. He's actually with the previous fishing attorney, Rob Dalton. They're out fishing with Eric Lindy this morning down in the Bowie 10 area, and we're just crossing our fingers that they're not done. We know that they got at least 3 Chinook in the boat, and they only need 1 more of those, right? So we'll hopefully be able to catch them live on the water before they're done. Again, with Ted Liu, the fishing attorney, and get that live report to you so that you can make your decision as you go into this upcoming week. Although, in this upcoming segment, we'll have reports to share from all over on the Columbia, but every day is different. Nobody says it better, and I hope you're paying attention to Mr. Cody Herman, his daily updates that he's doing for everyone that fishes that Bowie 10 area with Day One Outdoors. If you watch those, you'll get some great info, but like he likes to say, every day is different, every tide is different, every fish is different. So you're gonna have to take all that info and just make your best decision that you can. Then, we're lucky enough, it's the middle of August. We try to get Bugling Bob, Mr. Bob Kepka, here in the studio every year to help everyone make sure that you're good to go, meaning that your bow is tuned, that you're shooting clean, that everything's working properly for you, all the way from your release to your arrows. Bob's the man. He's the only guy that I trust to touch my bow, and it's been that way for a decade now, maybe even a little bit more. And I've had him do many, I don't even know how many bows, Bob. Take care of my bow, make sure that everything's good to go. Like I said, I trust him with my, well, really most important piece of equipment when we're chasing anything, from deer to elk to any other species it is. These things have to be good to go so that when you mess it up, it's all on you. Kenny, that's me, and not your bow. So we're going to check in with Bob. We've got him here in the studio. We're going to talk about a number of different things to make sure that you're good. At the very least, that you're paying attention to some of these things. If from maintenance to your cams, to your strings, making sure they're all good, we'll try to get you that info that'll help you be more confident and, of course, make sure that when that moment does come, that you don't screw it up. I don't even want to think about it. I've been telling that story to Bob this morning. I'm already sidetracked. Along with that, though, of course, this upcoming segment, we'll have fish counts and everything that we typically do. We missed that yesterday. For those that had mentioned that, we apologize. Sometimes it works out that way, but we will have that. A reminder for an upcoming derby as well. And like I already mentioned, lots of reports that are coming in from the saltwater, although that changes today. And another quick reminder, it's 9 a.m., I believe at 9:30. Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong. At 9:30, somebody made this genius decision down there in the Bowie 10 area to swim across the Columbia above Megler on an outgoing tide, with hundreds of boats on the water. I don't understand how this all works out. We mentioned this last week. So if you have friends down there, or maybe you're watching on that Fox 12 app, pay attention here. There's going to be some very interesting stuff going on. Stuff you've never seen in that Bowie 10 area. People swimming, large numbers apparently, swimming from one side of the river to the other. It makes about as much sense as not being able to use motorized decoys or spinning wing decoys for ducks. But anyway, I'm not going to get sidetracked. So if you got friends that are down there, make sure you call them up, let them know to remember that that's going to be a bit of a fiasco here coming up in about a half an hour. And Ryan, like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, was it 9:30? I believe it was 9:30, but that's when that whole thing kicks off. Along with that, we will have your Chevy Silverado Tech Tip of the Week and your pike minnow numbers for everyone that's chasing those things. And we truly appreciate you out there chasing those things and making yourself some money. But we'll have those numbers so that you know where to be this upcoming week to target those pike minnow. But if you've been sending photos in, and we have a video today, bear with us. We're going to get to that in a second. I want to take Richard's call. Richard is from Kenmore. Now, typically when we talk with Richard, and as you know, if you've watched the show for very long, he's been a contributor here for several years. But typically it's all about the Puget Sound area up north. Well, it looks like he's got another one, an Area 10 report. Richard, what's going on up there? Are you guys still able to fish, or they shut you down yet?
Hey, somehow the state of Washington made up some paper fish and gave us 2 more days on a Sunday and a Monday.
Interesting. Is that this tomorrow, or today and tomorrow, or next week?
Today and tomorrow. Gotcha. I'm already off the water. We banged them this morning right at first light.
Nice.
We had to release 2 wild ones, probably a 10, a 13 pounder, but we ended up with like an 8 and a 14. So it was just banger, all on hoochies, 34 inches a leader behind a morning mist pro troll, the one with the blinky light.
Oh, yeah.
And no fin, and in tight, like 90 feet of water, downriggers at 93 and 83.
I know I've asked you this before, Richard, for over all these years that you've called into the show. Why is it up there in the Puget Sound area you guys like to run those Pro Trolls 360s without the fin? And is there a time that you do run them with the fin up there for those that might be curious?
Well, the reason I don't run the fin is because I don't use any type of a blade behind my gear, or I don't use a cut plug or a brads or anything that puts a lot of pressure on that 360. I'm using spoons, pieces of metal with a single Siwash hooks, or I'm using a hoochie that are, that they're super light, super aerodynamic, super going through the water, super smooth. So I'm getting full rotations, even trolling them with the current at 3.5 knots, just super tight, good rotations. And with that kicker fin, I just, there's no need for it. I'm not running any huge types of spinner blades or any type of like a spin fish that puts a lot of pressure on that and flattens out a 360.
So just no advantage to using it?
No, not really. The only disadvantage I see is just puts a lot of weight on your rod with that kicker fin. Just, if the Puget Sound's a lot more different. We got, this morning it was a south wind with an incoming tide. So you're pretty much fishing slack water at that point because the tide's keeping you in one place while the wind's trying to blow you. So there's just, I don't need to. I know my stuff is spinning all the time because my presentation is so light. I
had to ask. It's one of those things where, they're relatively new to us, right? For us on the Columbia and down here, the last decade, I guess. But for you up there, you guys have been running those 360s for eons, so I had to get that question. Well, hey, thanks for the report. Are you heading back out tomorrow?
Yes, of course. Last day tomorrow to try to get my hand on a slimy nook. So it's go time tomorrow, and yeah, I'm just thankful that the state realized that maybe they should give us a couple more days. There's so many fish up here, Alan. It's so good.
Well, I hope that's just more fish to show up, because a lot of those, everyone are going to make their way towards the Columbia and other areas down south of where he's referring to. But Richard, as always, man, thanks for the report. Hopefully it helps somebody up north to make a decision to head out there tomorrow and take advantage of that last day. When you get out there, be safe and good luck, okay?
Hey, I appreciate it, and I'll see you down there in a couple weeks. I'll be down there on the Big C trying to get some nooks too. So
well, good luck, my friend. Be safe when you make your travels down. All right, that's Richard from Kenmore. Another good report from up there in that Area 10 of the Puget Sound area. Get out there. I've never fished it. Sounds like something that would be a lot of fun. All right, let's show you some of those photos that everybody's been sending over. Look at that. That's a steelhead right there, everyone. That's a summer run. Nice one, too, by the way. And here, dissect this photo really quickly. Take a look at his right hand. See those pink fingers? I wonder what he was fishing with. Most likely coonies. I'm just saying, you got to pay attention to little things. And we actually have a video coming up. Hey, look at that, Mr. Buzz Ramsey. First albacore. That's awesome. The legend himself out there catching albacore. Who would have thought that 20 years ago or 30 years ago? Our tuna fishery has been phenomenal this year. Buzz gets out and makes it happen. That's awesome. Here's a couple of Columbia River plunking fish, some steelhead, and it looks like they obviously had themselves some good success. What a great way to, probably my favorite way to catch fish off the Columbia is sitting on the beach, toes in the sand in the summertime. Just a beautiful opportunity. First walleye for Eli. This is from Dale. Thanks for sending that in. There's at least 4 or 5 tacos there. It's a nice walleye. That's been pretty darn good, too. Some good options for those that know what they're doing. Hey, look at that. Here's one of the Procure prize pack winners from what that looks like. Fall Run Ready. That's Tim Silvers. That is a winner of that weekly prize pack. Yes, it is real for those that are like, oh, it's probably not even real. July Nook. Dennis, nice fish. And there's been some dandies. This upcoming segment, we'll share a couple of reports that I got yesterday. There's been some decent-sized fish caught. You know, anytime that you can get them now in the 20s, you just got to cross your fingers and count your blessings. Kenai Limit. This is from Stan. Kenai Limit. What are those? Those sockeye? Looks like sockeye, by the way. Very interesting times up in Alaska these days. Things are not changing for the better, unfortunately.